Originally, taxes were used to influence both the buyers and sellers in a market. It was used to reduce both the demand and supply, and so the reduced demand will often shift the demand curve to the left and down, whereas when supply is reduced, the supply curve will shift to the left, but it will shift up instead. The reason why there are so many countries that refuse to place high taxes on the rich and the luxury goods that they buy is due to the concept of deadweight loss. So oftentimes deadweight loss comes when the government imposes a tax on a certain good. And so another definition for deadweight loss is that it is the decrease in total surplus due to the tax. In a market with an elastic supply curve or elastic demand curve, whichever one is elastic is able to leave the market easier than the other. And so in this scenario regarding the rich and the luxury goods that they buy, the buyers are more elastic compared to the supply or the sellers of the luxury goods. This means that the buyers are able to leave the market easier than the sellers are able to. And so if we take a look at this on a graph, or if we put it on a graph to see, the deadweight loss for an elastic demand curve is bigger than the deadweight loss of an inelastic demand curve. Governments tend to look at this because this determines the amount of tax revenue that they receive in the end. Another type of a market that the government would not place a tax on is if supply is elastic. And so this would cause the same problem as said earlier with the scenario of elastic demand curve and an inelastic supply curve. A market with an elastic supply curve would result in a big deadweight loss, and of course this isn't what governments are looking for. Governments are looking for the maximum amount of tax revenue that they could receive, and so they would not choose this type of market.